Assalamualaikum students. How are you all? I hope that you all are fine by the grace of Allah Almighty. Today we are going to start our lesson number 1 of economics. But first of all, you will have to take out your textbook and put that in front of you so it will help you to understand the explanation more clearly. The title of lesson number 1 is Evolution of Economic Life. But before studying about the evolution of economic life, you will have to know that what is economics. Economics is the branch of knowledge that concerned to the production, consumption and distribution of wealth. Economics is based on the prosperity of a country, that how much a country is wealthy. The evolution of economic life is divided into 3 stages. Number 1, hunting and gathering stage. Number 2, pastoral stage. And number 3, agriculture and handicraft stage. Now move towards the first stage, which is hunting and gathering stage. As you all know that in earlier times, man used to live in caves and he hunted different animals for his food. And for the hunting purposes, man used different weapons like arrows, axes, daggers, lances and knives, which were made up of different metals like stone, wood, etc. Now moving towards the stage number 2, which is pastoral stage. In this stage, man discovered that he can use different animals also for transport, flesh, milk and hides. In hunting and gathering stage, men just used to hunt those animals for food. But in pastoral stage, man realized that these animals can also be used for the process of domesticating. Agriculture and handicraft stage. In pastoral stage, man used to travel place to place for the food and water of their animals. So, in agriculture and handicraft stage, man thought that he should settle down at the banks of rivers and lakes. Men started ploughing and drawing cards for agriculture purposes. He learned how to grow food, crops and vegetables. The agriculture and handicraft stage is divided into furthermore parts. We will study them in detail. The first part is division of labor. In this stage, the concept of labor emerged. This happened due to the growth of population which was becoming massive day by day. So the people decided to divide their responsibilities like economic, social and political duties among themselves. Feudal exchange economy, which is the second part. In this stage, the concept of feudalism occurred. The feudalism system is known as Jagirdarana Nizam. In this system, the chiefs of two tribes, the meaning of tribe is Qabail or Kabile. In this stage, the two chiefs of different tribes has the authority to decide the exchange of goods, that how much goods that they will consume and how much goods that they will produce. Because of this feudalism, the concept of barter system occurred. Now, what is barter system? Barter system is the exchange of commodity by commodity. That in this system of barter, there is no concept of money. A good is exchanged by a good. Industrial stage. This stage is considered as the most important stage in the history of evolution. As you all know that there are so many things which are invented or developed in past years. The industrial stage is divided into 3 stages. In stage number 1, people started to produce goods for them like shoes, clothes, transport and other things. On second stage of industrial stage, man became aware of different professions. Like people had divided the different professions like carpenter, blacksmith, weaver and potters, etc. In the second stage, coins of gold and silver were introduced. The third stage of industrial stage and beyond. In this stage, different technologies were invented, like it is considered as the climax of industrial stage, in which science gave birth to technology. In this stage, the main inventions like TV, radio, fax telex, computer, stock companies, international trade and successful monetary system came into existence. The fourth and final part of agriculture and handicraft stage is public and private ownership. As you all know that the meaning of private is privacy or personal, and the meaning of public is the thing which is related to the people. In this stage, the concept of private and public ownership occurred. In private ownership, the individual is superior to all his economic resources. It means कि अगर एक इंसान के पास पैसा है तो वो अपने पैसे का खुद मालिक है and he has the authority to use that money wherever he wants. On the other hand, public ownership is all about the people of the country or the state. The public property is the property of people. After the concept of private and public ownership, the two main concepts emerged. The private ownership gave birth to the capitalism, which was totally based on the private ownership, and the public ownership gave birth to the concept of socialism, which was totally based on the welfare of the people of the state. The next topic is definition and characteristics of capitalism. What is capitalism? As I have explained you before, that capitalism is based on the private ownership. An individual is superior to his wealth and he can invest wherever he wants, and capitalism is based on the private profit. Merits of capitalism. The first merit is private property. In this merit, capitalist or consumer has the authority on its property. He has the ownership and control over his economic resources, which means that consumer के पास अपनी प्रॉपर्टी के सब राइट्स होते हैं और वो जहाँ चाहे वहाँ इन्वेस्ट कर सकता है. Free enterprise. In free enterprise, consumer has the authority to buy or sell the goods whatever he wants, and he can adopt any kind of business, but that business should be complies with the rules of the state. It means कि कंज्यूमर कोई भी बिजनेस अपनी मर्जी से स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं, लेकिन उस बिजनेस को स्टेट के लॉज के हिसाब से स्टार्ट करना पड़ेगा. The next merit is freedom of contract. The individual is free to enter in any contract for the profit. Government respects the decision of a consumer, and the state can only interfere when there is the danger of exploitation of laborers. It means इंडिविजुअल किसी भी कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में अपनी मर्जी से एंटर हो सकते हैं, गवर्नमेंट उनके डिसीजन की रिस्पेक्ट करती है, बट वो सिर्फ तभी इंटरफेयर करती है जब उनको इस बात का खतरा हो कि लेबर्स के राइट्स को फॉलो नहीं किया जा रहा। The next merit is price mechanism. The price is fixed according to the demand and supply, and in this merit equilibrium is restored to its actual position. The next merit is profit motive. In this merit, capitalists invest in any occupation and industry for their profit. It means कि कैपिटलिस्ट और कंज्यूमर्स जहाँ चाहें वहाँ इन्वेस्ट कर सकते हैं, चाहे वो कोई भी ऑक्यूपेशन या इंडस्ट्री हो जिस पे उन्हें बहुत बड़ा प्रॉफिट मिलने का चांस हो। The last demerit is sovereignty of the consumer. As you can see in the first line, that is, consumer is compared to a king. Now you will understand the position of a consumer in the capitalism. The consumer is like a king and he can do whatever he wants. The industries are his servants. Now moving towards our next topic, which is demerits of capitalism. There are some demerits of capitalism. In capitalism, the distribution of wealth is unfair. इसका मतलब है कि कैपिटलिज्म में सिर्फ कुछ लोगों के हाथ में बहुत ज़्यादा अमाउंट्स आ जाती हैं एंड कुछ लोगों के हाथ में कुछ भी नहीं आता। Huge amounts are spent on advertisements for the sale of goods. कैपिटलिज्म में बहुत बड़े बड़े अमाउंट्स को एडवर्टाइजमेंट्स के लिए यूज़ किया जाता है। इन कैपिटलिज्म देयर इज़ नो रिगार्ड इज टू पे सिक और अनएम्प्लॉयड पर्सन, और कैपिटलिज्म में आम लोगों के लिए बीमार और अनएम्प्लॉयड लोगों के लिए कुछ नहीं सोचा जाता। Now moving towards the next concept. The next concept is socialism. Now what is a socialism? Socialism is based on the public property. It is the opposite of capitalism. In socialism, the state works for the profit and welfare of its people. Merits of socialism. There are a lot of merits of socialism. In socialism, unemployment is controlled by the state. A state is responsible for the rights of its people. State provides the basic necessity to its people. There is no class conflict and no exploitation. In socialism, there is an equal rights given to men, women, kids and all. Merits of socialism में गवर्नमेंट अपने लोगों की वेलफेयर की जिम्मेदार होती है, जिसमें हर चीज़ गवर्नमेंट के हाथ में होती है। गवर्नमेंट की जिम्मेदारी होती है कि वो अपने लोगों को बेसिक नेसेसिटीज़ प्रोवाइड करे, उनके हुकूक का ख्याल रखे, उन्हें मेडिकल दे, उनकी एजुकेशन के ऊपर खर्च करे और बूढ़े, बच्चे, बीमार, औरतें सबका ख्याल रखे और सबको इक्वल राइट्स दे। एंड every individual has the right to work, rest and recreation. And the last topic of this chapter is demerits of socialism. If there are some merits of socialism, on the other hand, there are also the demerits of socialism. In the socialism, consumer is not a king. Consumer is at the mercy of state. It means कि consumer जिसके पास पैसा है उसे पहले स्टेट की इजाज़त लेनी पड़ेगी। जैसे कि कैपिटलिज्म में वो किंग था, बट सोशलिज्म में वो स्टेट के रहमो करम पर होता है। In socialism, there is an control of government. If corrupt people come in power, people suffer. सोशलिज्म में ज़्यादातर करप्ट पीपल के पावर में आने के चांसेस ज़्यादा होते हैं क्योंकि उसमें स्टेट का कंट्रोल होता है, जिसकी वजह से लोगों को बहुत प्रॉब्लम होती है। एंड इन द लास्ट, द पीपल ऑफ द स्टेट is dependent on the government for basic necessities. It means कि स्टेट के लोगों को गवर्नमेंट के ऊपर डिपेंडेंट होना पड़ता है for basic necessities like food, job, health, education, etc. Now here the explanation of the chapter ends. I hope that you understood the chapter very well. Thank you.